Hello, Coachella Valley, and welcome to Live with Your Chamber. I'm your host, Katie Stice, CEO at the Rancho Mirage Chamber of Commerce, and we just hope you're doing well today. I noticed there's a change in the weather. Everyone is getting ready for season. Snowbirds are starting to come back into town, and I know that because I see the car movers starting to come in, and I think, oh, folks are coming back. It's a really exciting time, and if you're tuning in, please in the comments, let us know where you're watching from. We have a great guest today. I'm going to bring her out right now. Andrea Davis is with Entrepreneurial Operating System. I've been practicing that. EOS Worldwide. She's one of our amazing chamber members, and she's going to talk a little bit about EOS Worldwide and what that means for your business. So, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you, Katie. I'm so happy to be here. And yes, I am happy for the season change as well.
Yeah, it's been a hot and humid summer,
It
that's for
has.
sure. So tell us a little bit about Entrepreneurial Operating System,
There you go. I
EOS.
promise you don't have to say it too many times today.
Thank you.
Well, for those who aren't familiar with EOS or the Entrepreneurial Operating System, it's really think of it as a set of tools and processes that help entrepreneurs, business owners, and their leadership teams really run a better business and ultimately live a better life. And I know that can sound kind of funny, like what's this about living a better life? But if your business is running more efficiently, if people are on the same page, if you're achieving your vision, that's a better life, not only for you as an owner or leadership team member, but also for all of your employees.
Oh
And
my
I
God,
think for your customers as well. So
absolutely.
yeah, it's so I'll give you a little background.
Sure.
EOS was created about 20 years ago by a lifelong entrepreneur by the name of Gino Wickman.
Hmm.
And he was brought in to run his family business that was really in need of a turnaround.
Okay.
So that's always a challenging thing when you're coming in as a second
My
generation
gosh.
family member, business owner, and turning the company around. And what he found was, first of all, the company had an operating system. Every company has an operating system. It just
Hmm.
was put together with duct tape, and it was
Yeah.
just they were just doing things.
Right.
And what he found was when he started really instilling more disciplined processes, more
Mhm.
focus in the business, getting the team really rallied around where they were going, they were able to turn the company around.
Love that.
Ultimately, he sold the business. And what he found when he was working with a lot of his other CEO business owner colleagues in the community was that everybody was kind of facing some version of that same challenge that he
Absolutely.
had. And so he really realized, hey, I think there's a need in the marketplace for a simplistic operating system that can help small to mid-sized companies grow, thrive, flourish, and again, helping those business owners live a better life. So that's what he did. This kind of came out of trial and error. It came out of working with other business owners.
Hmm.
He ultimately wrote this book called Traction. Whoops.
Oh,
Well, there we go. It's called Traction. Oh, there we
here
go.
it is.
There you go.
Perfect.
So I encourage anybody, if you're a business owner, business leader, and you've
Hmm.
not read that, please read it. It's kind of a great instruction manual for how to really strengthen the key components of your business and really practical tools for doing that. And
Wow.
so EOS
Phenomenal.
is, yeah, it's an amazing process, and I can share kind of deep dive and share a little bit more about it.
Well, I love it, and I think it's so needed, especially right now. I feel like it just seems like our business community is really recentering now. So it's a great time to go into this next year and this next season, which is slated to be really great for everyone to do it with best practices and with some expertise and some assistance because what we notice is folks are really good at their craft and they can use some help with putting some of the business pieces together, the financial pieces. So that's where you come in and
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your background and how you kind of chose EOS.
Well, it's interesting. My entrepreneurial experience. So for 20 years, I co-founded and co-ran a leadership consulting business based out of Indianapolis. That's where I'm originally from. My husband and I relocated here in 2019. We love
Yes.
it, even the heat, sort of. But and worked with thousands of clients over those 20 years, helping them build leadership development programs to really grow their leaders, whether that
Sure.
was frontline managers or growing senior leaders, to helping them become better leaders and be able to step into maybe C-suite types of
Mhm.
positions. We
Absolutely.
worked a lot with teams, helping teams be more effective, helping teams in transition. So, if there was a new leader coming on to run that team, helping them really very quickly establish their vision and strategy and build a healthy team from the very beginning. We also did a lot of executive and management coaching. So my
Mhm.
background is it's sort of it in this space, but in a little bit different way. But after 20 years, I was, like a lot of business owners, just kind of, what do I want to do? What do I want
Yes.
to do next? We were uh, fastest growing companies, twice named to that list.
Mhm.
Amazing team of people, worked with amazing companies. But I also felt like they're kind of like Gino. I felt like, there's this need to really help other small businesses like mine
Right.
was to
Right.
be more effective. And so I was doing a lot of honestly just kind of reading and talking with people and researching. And I had read Traction probably 15 years ago.
Uh-huh.
I picked it up early last year and I got 20 pages in, and it was like, the wall of bricks hit me.
Yes.
And
The
I
light bulb
said, first of
moment.
I'm like, this is what I need to do. I didn't even know that there was a team of people here
Yeah.
worldwide doing this work with companies. And I
Wow.
also, as I was reading it, I of course saw so many things that I thought, oh, had we done that in my
Oh,
company,
yes.
oh my gosh, we could have, broken through so many ceilings in our business. We could have tackled some of the challenges with, people and customers and you name it. So it just resonated very deeply with me. And having moved to the Coachella Valley in 2019, I also was becoming just more and more interested in helping businesses here locally. So
Love it.
that it all
Yeah.
just kind of came, it's like magic. It all just
Isn't that
kind of came
amazing?
together. I
Well, I
know.
jotted down that book named Traction. I will be
I'll
sure.
send you one. I'll send you
Oh,
one.
thank you. Oh,
You're
love
welcome.
that. Now, what are you hearing now? What are the frustrations that local businesses are really talking about?
Well, it'd be several things. And, you hit on one of them. I think, a lot of businesses are doing very well post COVID.
Mhm.
Um, but everything's changed about their business.
Yes.
And so in many ways, they're where they stand now. Hey, we're doing well. We're not exactly sure why.
Mhm. Yep.
And if you look at what the challenges are just in the global economy, there's also some fear that we're not sure if we're going to be able to sustain this. Like
That's
we've
right.
done well, but is it just because we're still here?
Right.
And
Right.
so I think many of them are searching for again a clearer vision, a path forward, and then really the discipline and focus to be able to help the entire organization do what they need to be doing to help advance that vision. So some of the concerns are really coming out of opportunities.
Yes.
But then, of course, there are concerns that I hear every day. People aren't doing what they need to be doing. There's inconsistency in how we're delivering to customers and clients.
Mhm.
We've trained, but why are things being done the wrong way?
Mhm.
Um, Profit, maybe it's not enough.
Mhm.
We've got top line revenue, but I'm not getting the profit that I want out of the business. And I
Right.
would say, as a former business owner of
Sure.
myself, a lot of times it's like I'm spending far too much time in the business. I'm working in
Yes.
it. I don't have enough free time. I'm losing time with my family, my friends, my whatever it is that brings me joy. I'm not spending enough time doing that.
Right. Oh my gosh. I mean, as you're talking, like light bulbs are going off because we do hear this from our local business members. They do share a lot with us about their, concerns and their thoughts. And time is a big piece that
Absolutely.
having that balance of life is so important. So when people start to implement these EOS systems, what is that impact that they begin to see?
Well, it can impact numerous things. So, it's sort of think about where a company's starting point is. So, for
Hmm.
example, if they're coming into, if they have that realization finally that okay, the way we've done things for the last 10, 20 years isn't going to get us where we want to go.
Mm.
If they reach that point, then it could be okay. What we're trying to do is maybe build more structure in the business so that I'm positioning to sell or positioning for some sort of exit or to pass it on to my children or to
Right.
the next generation. So that may be why they're coming to it. And so that's a if they as long as we have a clear intention going in, then we can help develop the vision and strategy to help accomplish that.
Wow.
But everybody's vision and strategy is different. So it
Yeah.
it could be doing that. It could be, look, what we want to do is build. We want to build better infrastructure so that it's just easier to do things around here. People aren't working so hard. It doesn't
Absolutely.
feel like a fire drill every day.
Right, no doubt. And
So
it's
some of
funny,
it's like qualitative, not quantitative. It could just be, I want a year from now, I want it to feel better.
I
I want more,
love
maybe I want more time with my family. I want more time to pursue play golf.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And that very well should be a goal. I mean, small business owners work so hard that it's great to bring folks like you in that can really help them, manage it a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, so that they have some free time to enjoy. Because I'll tell you what, we work with small business owners every day. No one works harder.
Right.
They're the first to go in, they're the last to leave, pay themselves last. And so I love also that you talked about how you can even help someone with, if the vision is to eventually sell the business, to get them to that point. Because we've heard there are folks who, after the past few years, they're ready to sell and move
Hmm.
on, whether that's retirement or something different. So that's really good. I have a few referrals for you already
Oh,
with folks
well,
I
thank
know who
you.
are ready to move on. And one person in particular, she's just ready to move on. She's found her calling, kind of like you were talking
Oh,
about earlier.
hmm.
And she said, I really want to do this, so I'm selling. So
And it's,
interesting.
and that doesn't have to be a 10-year path to do that. That could also be, look, I want to start working on that exit strategy, and maybe that's 2 years out or a year out. The other thing that I see is, there's still activity in the private equity space or
Mhm.
acquisition space, and making sure that your company is as strong as possible and as appealing as possible to whomever
Right,
that might be. EOS is one of having any kind of systemized operating system can really set a company up to really be more attractive and increase the value that you're going to get out of that business. So it's both about how can I transition better,
right.
but also depending on which path I might choose,
Mhm.
this can help a company become even more attractive. And that's something a lot of business owners don't think about. I think most people think at some point I want to sell and I want to retire. I don't want to be in this, but how do I actually position us to do that?
And, as you're talking, it seems very clear to me that I feel like every business could use you to come in and just really hone in on lots of different parts and pieces. What would stop someone, or what are some precautions or reasons that people might be hesitant to reach out?
Well, I hear, it could be multiple things, but I mentioned a minute ago, sometimes the fire drill.
Got it.
So there psychologically, that people can get addicted to operating in a chaotic fire
Mm,
drill environment. I mean, that sounds
yes.
kind of strange to say,
Nope, I've
but
been there.
there's, it's kind of, you get through the fire drill and great, we put out the fire and we solved a problem. So you feel good about that, but you've kind of you've left a path of destruction. Everybody's worn out. And in fact, sometimes your best people, they're not going to put up with that for very long.
Yeah.
But that's a hard cycle to break for some people and some companies. I've worked with companies
Mm,
that just, wow, the culture is just a nonstop fire drill, and breaking that is hard. So that can be something that just is hard. It also means that um, you've got to be ready to tackle some of the tough, challenging issues in your business.
yeah.
Think about how many times you've been, over the course of your career, and we've all been there, where you're in a meeting and there's either the elephant in the room. We
Yep.
all know it's an issue, but
That's
nobody wants
right.
to talk about it. It could be a people issue. Who knows? We're still continuing to provide a service or sell a product that we know is dying, and why are we still doing that? But nobody wants to give it
The
up.
sacred cows. Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. So again, the owners, the leadership team have to really be willing to make the hard decisions and do the hard things. And I don't want to suggest that EOS and that everything is you're coming into it from a really difficult place,
Sure.
but this really challenges and pushes teams to make some of
Yes.
those tough decisions, but in an effort to really, again, have a better business,
That's
ultimately
great.
serve our customers in a better way, have a better employee experience, employee culture. So
Well,
that can
and
get in the way, and
to that
time
point
out.
too, yeah, I think sometimes we can get so focused in on what we're doing and how we're doing it and all of that, and to have a fresh set of eyes come in. and
Mhm.
and I love the way that you just said, challenge your team, challenge your leadership, challenge your team to take it to the next level. that is really powerful because at the end of the day, every business wants to do better. We all want to shine brighter and continue to grow. So just that alone is going to be really a game changer for a lot of people out there.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I love the perspective. Nobody's trying to run their business into the ground.
Right.
Nobody
Right.
goes into it to do that. But sometimes that, we create more chaos and complexity. And again, by sometimes not addressing the
Yep.
tough decisions we need to make, that is what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're actually harming the business. And again, as a business owner, I've done that.
Yeah.
I am not immune to all those mistakes and looking back like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? But
Yeah.
time, to other challenges sometimes or resistance, it could be time because
Mhm.
it can feel like, this is something that's implementing these things. I'm going to have to learn it. My
Yep.
team's going to have to really, we're going to have to be all in and committed, and that's just going to take too much time. And
Hmm.
of course, I say, well, again, you've got to be ready for
Hmm.
something like this. You've got to be ready to make the change. Uh,
Right.
but yes, it's some time up front, just
Yep.
learning a new way of running your business. But I kind of think of it like, do you remember learning how to drive a car?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, first of all, you're learning to drive and nothing felt right.
Right.
You're paying attention to the signs and the stoplight. I remember when I was learning to drive, I was with my dad and I turned the wrong way on a one-way street because I'm more concerned about operating the car and I couldn't pay attention to the signs.
Yep.
And it feels a little like that at first. We were okay, by the way. We were
Yeah.
safe.
Good. 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 Glad to hear. Well, and I think too, what you were just talking about is getting the team to be all in and move in the same direction together. I think the other benefit of that is that you will all have accomplished this together. And the feeling that everyone will have kind of as you go through the process. And then at the end of that, say that process, I mean, obviously it keeps going, but you'll reach a point where teams will say, wow, and look around and say, look what we did together.
Absolutely.
Look where we have all come. This is where you've grown. This is where I've grown. This is where the company has grown. And that is where the magic is.
Oh
You've
my
gone
gosh.
through all of
I'm going
that
to start
work
bringing you with me when I go to talk with
because
prospective clients. It
it
is
feels
that
so good.
when I think about EOS, EOS it's really just the conduit to help a team flourish. So it's not
Um,
about the the tools themselves are very powerful, but
yes.
going through the process together, I mean, it's an excellent point. That is equally as powerful. In some ways, I'd say even more powerful because
Yeah.
once a team has
Yep.
seen success, they've seen growth, they've broken through some of those barriers together.
Unstoppable.
Oh my
Right?
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's amazing, even though that's oftentimes not why they are doing it
that's
at the
right.
beginning, but they do see it. And it doesn't take long. I mean, even I'm
Yeah.
working with a client that we've had just a couple of sessions together, and
Hmm.
they're just in that early phase of implementing, and the growth that they have had and the success they've had in some of their
Yeah.
priority, their today priority, it's amazing. I'm like, wow,
Well,
you've
and I think
accomplished this in a month.
that's right. And it kind of builds trust and it builds this
It does.
momentum. And I think what I love too about all of this, like, as a whole, is it helps build professionals. And so that professional development is so valuable for employees. And then they take that with them wherever they go. So, I mean, it's really an investment. You're right at the end of the day in your whole team. And tell me what like onboarding looks like, what kind of signing up with you and chatting with you, what kind of what steps people will go through to get onboarded and begin the process.
Sure. Well, first of all, I'll clarify, I don't talk about myself as a consultant, that can because consultant sort of implies I'm coming in, I'm sort of telling you what to do, or,
Mhm.
I'm
Yep.
giving you the roadmap. Really, I'm an implementer of
Okay.
EOS. So I'm a
Okay.
teacher, I'm a coach, I'm an implementer, and and an accountability partner.
Hmm.
And that's a distinct difference. So, I know
Yeah.
there's a lot of kind of like, oh, we don't want a consultant coming in and telling us how to run our business.
Yeah.
This is the organization deciding how they want to run their business, but I will teach them how to use these tools, implement these tools, and ask tough questions and be
Hmm.
in the room and, hey, now we talked last month about, you said you were going to do this. Like, let's talk about what happened and what got in the way of
Mm,
that. So it really is more coaching, teaching. But what
sure.
I do first is, so a lot of times people will come to this because maybe they've read the book Traction, or another business owner has said, hey, we've implemented these things. I think this would really help your business. The first thing I do is just pull together the owners and the leadership team and just meet with them for 90 minutes and really almost give them the cliff note version of the book, but
Yeah.
just walk them through, here's what EOS even is, here's what it looks like, here's what it looks like to implement it, here's what what would be expected of you to do that. And then they can ultimately decide, is this the right thing for us, is it the right time for us, is it the right fit,
Hmm.
and kind of go from there. So I like to give let's just give a little primer on what this even is. And then the process is, it's really, I will work with a team over full day sessions. So picture 3 full days over maybe 60 to 90 days.
Okay.
Not so, and spread it out. So, one day here, maybe we meet again for day 2, this next month, and then day 3 the next month. And that's really where we go in and they are learning the tools. They're
Yeah.
and they're going back after each session and they're using the tools in their business. So one of the tools that we use, it's called a level 10 meeting agenda.
Okay.
Level 10, it's called level 10 because on a scale of 1 to 10, we want to get, we want our meetings to be a 10. We want these to
Yes.
be, that we walk out of there and it was impactful and we felt like we made progress and we took action and we're healthy as a team. So what's one of the very first things I teach them is just how to run a better leadership team meeting. And it's pretty structured,
Mm-hmm.
but they practice that first month, and then we come back the next month, they learn some more tools, but we tweak. It's like, how's that meeting going, let's work out some of
Yes.
those kinks and bugs and make sure you're just continuing to get better and better at that.
Gosh.
Once they're through that first 60 or 90 days,
Huh?
they've learned all the core tools. In fact, they've developed their vision, their
Huh?
strategy, a picture for the future, maybe a 10-year picture for the future. They've mapped out, where are we going to be in 3 years? Where are we going to be in 1 year? What do we need to be
Incredible.
working on this quarter? And what are the issues that are kind of hanging out in the business that we don't want to lose sight of? And at some point, we will need to address those. And then my role is really just helping them execute on that.
Okay.
Get from an accountability standpoint. And
Sure.
and
Absolutely.
so then I meet with them once a quarter. We do a full day session quarterly that is really just a, let's review what worked last quarter. Where
Okay.
are you in the business? What's changed? Let's set new priorities for the business and for you as a leadership team.
Okay.
Once they're ready, usually, sometime in that first year, then they start rolling out these tools to their entire company. And I help advise them on
Sure.
when's the right timing for that. What are some things you need to think about as you're doing that? I'm not doing it for them, but I am coaching
Right.
them as they're rolling that out. Because the beauty of EOS is it doesn't stop at the leadership team.
Good. And it shouldn't.
No,
Right.
ultimately the whole this it really becomes the company's operating system.
Wow, and I love what you said even about meetings. To me, that's even that really is the starting point. We have a staff meeting every single week. We make sure we take that time, and sometimes they're a little on the longer side, but just that one thing, and it may be small to some people. To us, it's a really big deal that we make that time for each other to talk things out, concerns, calendars, all of the parts and pieces. We want to start our week really in a positive light. And like you said, feeling like, okay, we know what we're doing, we know it's ahead of us, we're rooting each other on. And, you know, things like that really do help healthy companies. So,
Oh, absolutely. And they're solving issues. You're walking out
right.
of a meeting again, not, well, gosh, we didn't discuss that again, and it continues to be an issue. So the structure itself of the meeting really allows teams to get into what I would call kind of real work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, it's extremely powerful once teams learn this tool and they just start using it, and it becomes, again, I kind of like the driving the car. They don't have to
Yeah.
think about it anymore. It's
Right.
just how they do it.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm just blown away. I feel like we could talk for hours because I love this stuff, and part of it is just being in chamber work. We watch these different businesses build sometimes from the ground up, and so knowing that there's an expert like you locally that has the tools that could help bring things together, and really no matter where they are in their company, it might be the beginning phases, the middle, the end. You really help so many. Thank you so much for
Oh, you're welcome.
having this
And
impact
you're
on
running a business
businesses.
too. So it's a
And I look
these
forward to
things
working
apply to
with
you as well.
you. Yeah, I look forward to working with you and having our board work with you as well. We're in the same position everybody else is in. We're looking at probably having a really big year ahead. And at the end of the day, we just want to be prepared because we love what we do. And I bet folks out there could totally resonate with that. And for everyone who's out there, watching today, thank you for all the comments and saying hello. Good to see you all. Andrea's information is on the screen. You can reach out on her website. Great information there. Emails on the screen. And of course, as a chamber member, you will see her out at chamber events. So be sure to say hello and pick her brain. But is there anything that you want to leave us with today?
I think we've covered a lot. I would probably just leave, whether it's EOS or anything else, if you're out there just again struggling as a business, you're frustrated, really take a step back and make a decision to do something to
I
make your
love
business better and to live a better life. Don't neglect yourself. This is the stronger that you are, the happier you are, the more fulfilled you are, the less frazzled you are as a business owner, the more you're able to give back to your team, your family, the community. So, I mean, there's a bigger purpose in this as
there
well.
is. Yeah. Well, thank you
Thank
for
you.
joining us today.
Oh,
Really,
thank you
really
very
appreciate
much.
you. All right. We'll be in touch, my friend.
Thank you.
And thanks so much for joining us on Live with Your Chamber. It's such a pleasure to bring these amazing small businesses right to you to learn more about our community. We have these access to these incredible experts that you all can work with each other, members shop members and work with other members first. So be sure to reach out to the chamber if we can give you some referrals, or tune into the show or be on the show and share who you are and what you do. But today was absolutely amazing. I just know when you see Andrea out at events, you're going to be picking her brain for a lot more. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Thank you so much for supporting your Rancho Mirage Chamber of Commerce. We appreciate you. Take care, everybody.